All right. Hi, friends. Welcome to Get Your Play Online. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, right? Yep. Happy Tuesday, everybody. This is your 3 o'clock Create with Haley session. I'm so excited to have you guys here. I'm sure a few of you are wondering, what is she holding? What is Haley holding? Well, as you know, the theme of the week is storybook. So we're doing activities that are like pirates and princesses, and today, fairies. So, our activity today for Create with Haley is making fairy houses out of these little clay pots. So, I made a little model so that you guys can look at it and see what I'm talking about. So, this is just one that I made yesterday for some fairies to live in. So, on it, it says, Fairies, welcome, because I wanted the fairies to know that they are more than welcome to make this little pot that I've decorated for them their home. So, on it, I made a little glitter door for the fairies to go through. Super cute. Then on the sides, I put some fake grass that kind of will help the house blend into the ground because we know that fairies are kind of sneaky, right? They don't want to be seen. So we are just gonna, camouflage it a little bit so that it's super sneaky and the fairies feel safe. And then at the top, I just put some pom poms and a little chimney made out of a pipe cleaner just to make it feel like home and to make it really exciting for the fairies so that they feel like they can live there. So, I would like, before you guys get started, if you could comment down below your favorite movie or your favorite show or anything, or book, anything like that, that has fairies in it. So, think about that and then comment down below because I'd love to see what you guys like to watch or read that might have some storybook characters in it, like fairies. My personal favorite is Peter Pan. I'm sure you guys have seen it or read the book. There's so many different versions, but one of my favorite versions is the live action one. So it's made with real people as actors, right? And one of the things that they say in it is, I do believe in fairies. I do. I do. So when we're completing this activity today, I'm just going to keep that in my mind because it's so fun to make this fairy house. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started and I'll tell you what you need to complete this activity. So of course, because the little fairy house is made out of a pot, you need a little clay pot. I have some paintbrushes of any size. I just have 3, but as many as you want is fine. Some paint, any color you want is fine. I just used some green acrylic paint. You need some glue. So you can either use this type of glue, maybe some tacky glue. I'm going to use a hot glue gun today. I used this regular type of like Elmer's glue yesterday. It worked great. As you can see, all the puff balls and everything are staying on, but it took a little while to dry. So just for today's sake, I'm going to use the hot glue gun, but just know that if this is all you have, that's totally fine. You're going to need some scissors, and so if you decide to use hot glue or scissors, just remember to ask your parent or your caregiver for some help just to make sure that you can stay safe using those materials. This one gets really hot, and these, of course, are sharp, so we just want to be careful. Okay, so far we have our pot, we have paintbrushes, we have paint, we have scissors and some sort of glue. Now we're going to have some fun things like glitter, anything like this. Of course, fairies like glitter, right? They make fairy dust. Of course, they like glitter, so we need to use some if you have it. I have some colors of like puffy paint. These ones are kind of drippy, but any type of puffy paint you have, or you can just use multiple colors of regular paint. Totally up to you. I have some gems. Let me show you. I'll put a few in my hand so you can see. Ooh, they're a little sticky. So here's some gems. They're little stones. Cool. So I think we'll use some of those today. I have some pom-poms, like little puff balls. Mine are like neon colors. They're super bright so that the fairies can see them. Then I have some pipe cleaners. These are neon too, super fun. I have a paper plate to put the paint on while we're painting the pot. And then this is some fake grass. So if you don't have this, no problem. You can just use grass from outside, maybe some rocks from outside, whatever you would like. And then down in the spot in front of me, I just have some craft paper because, of course, we might be making a mess today because we're doing art. So the first thing we are going to talk about is I just want to remind you all that with any art activity and any time that you're creating something with me, that it's totally up to you how your final product looks. You don't need to copy exactly what I'm doing or anything like that. We're just going to play together and create together. So everyone's fairy house can look different depending on the materials you have, the colors you choose, the size of the pot, anything like that. So don't get frustrated if you don't have a material that I have, or maybe you have something that I don't have. That's totally fine. Our fairy houses can look different, and I think the fairies will like them, which is what really, really matters. So without further ado, I'm going to put on a little bit of music, and we are going to get creating and get playing. So I'll put on a little music. All right, hopefully you guys can hear that. And the first step is just to pour some paint onto your paper plate. So I have my paper plate here and my green acrylic paint, and I'm just going to pour some, if it will come out. There you go. I got some paint there. If you want to use multiple colors, that's fine. All I had was green paint, so that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to tilt my camera down so you guys can see what I'm doing, okay? All right. So I'm going to just pick up one paintbrush and start painting my pot all over, okay? So you guys just pick up your paint and you can enjoy the music, and we're going to paint together. I decided to start on the top from where I am going to start painting my pot, but wherever you want to start is totally up to you and totally fine. We just want to cover it all in paint. And while you're doing this, you can kind of think about what you think the fairies that live around your area might like. What colors do they like? Do they like their fairy houses to be sparkly? Do they like it to be really, really colorful? Where do you think they would like to put it? These are all choices that you get to make because this is your art activity. And I just chose to put my hand kind of inside of it as I paint, but you can hold it however you like. You can leave it on the table. Okay. I'm getting towards the bottom here. So here's what I have done so far. I'm sure you are doing awesome. When you guys are done with this activity, I'd love you to comment some pictures of what your fairy houses look like. Whether you actually post a picture of it and tag us in it at Get Your Play Online, or you just comment and use your words to tell us what you think your fairy house looks like, or tell us about why you chose to use the colors that you did, or the decorations that you did, or what craft supplies you used to decorate your fairy house. I'd love to know. So we're just moving around and covering all of that kind of clay colored. I'm sure that if you don't have paint, the fairies would like just the regular pot color too, but again, it's up to you what your fairy house looks like and up to the supplies that you have. Everything is totally fine. I'm going to skip this song. I don't like it. There you go. This song is called Fun Day, which sounds much more fun for creating art. Awesome. Okay, I'm almost done painting mine. I have this much left, but take your time. You can even do a second coat if you want. I'm gonna kind of make sure I covered everything by just turning my pot, adding a bit more paint here and there to make sure that it's all covered and smooth. I'm just gonna use up the rest of the paint that I do have. And this should dry on these pots. It should dry pretty quickly, so we don't have to worry about that too much as we continue doing our activity. Somehow the clay pots just soak up the paint and it dries so fast. All right, I just have a little bit more paint left, so I'm going to put that last few strokes on my pot. How's it looking, everybody? I can't wait to hear about and see all the things that you guys create today. Okay, I think that's it for me. So now let's get to the really fun part of decorating. So here's the paint, a nice coat of green paint all around the pot, on the top, and all the way around the ring. You don't need to go and paint on the inside, but if you'd like to, feel free. It's your pot. Okay, so I just set that down on my craft paper, and I'm gonna pause the music so I can make sure you guys hear me. So I set it down, and now we're just gonna decorate. So I think the way that I would like to do it is by starting by making some doors and some windows. And you can pick however you wanna do that. Do you wanna use maybe pipe cleaners to be the doors and the windows? You could fold them, make them look like a door or window. Do you want like a puff ball to be your door or window? Or like on my model I made yesterday, do you want it to be a glitter door? So let's go ahead and pick whichever side of your pot you think will be the front. I'm gonna do kind of right here is gonna be my front. And I think I'm gonna make a door out of a pipe cleaner. I'm gonna just fold it in like a square and glue it on with some hot glue. So this is just a reminder that if you are going to use hot glue, scissors, any supplies like that, that you might need some extra help to stay safe. Not to use those unless you have an adult around to help you or an older sibling who's doing the activity with you. So I'm just folding this around. So it's kind of in the shape of a door. Let's see if I can get it there. I wanted to start with the doors and the windows because then I feel like I can just decorate the rest however I want after I have this part done. Okay, so here's kind of the outline of my door. And so you could either use glue like this and just kind of glue right here. I'm going to use hot glue and I'm going to glue it kind of like this, I think. So I'm just doing a little bit of hot glue right onto the pipe cleaner here. It looks like I need a little extra, so I'm going to put this in. There we go. Now it's coming out. Okay, so I just did some hot glue. It's dripping a little bit, but that's why we're careful. And I glued it right here on the side. I think I'm going to go ahead and make it like that, where it almost looks like the door's closed because we want the fairies to go in whenever they want. Hot glue is messy, friends. Okay. Here we go. I'm just going to put another dot of hot glue right there. And one more at the top so my door stays nice and safe. It's stuck on there. So now I think it would be kind of fun that we have this little door. Do you guys see? Cute. I think it would be really fun to maybe put some glitter inside the door so that we can make sure that the fairies can find it, right? So maybe we can use this glitter. This is some white glitter that I have, and I'm going to use the regular glue, and I'm going to use a paintbrush to paint some of the glue on the inside of where my door is. So I'll face this towards you so you can see what I'm doing. The best thing about having kind of like craft paper under you or using a craft table is if you get glitter all over, no problem, right? We don't want to worry about that. Okay, so I just put some glue. You probably can't tell because it's white right here on my paper plate that I had the paint on so that it would be easy to paint it on to my pot exactly where I want it. And you can just pour the glue on if you want, but I'm using a paintbrush so I can be a little bit more careful and make sure it's nice and even. But right, what have I said this whole time? It's your fairy house, so you get to do whatever you want. Okay, so now I'm going to just pour some glitter right on it. I'm going to do it over my paper plate. Ooh. All right, let me show you guys, and you tell me what you think. That's a pretty fun door. That looks cool. I'm going to add a little bit more up there. Super cool. I think it looks like a door. What do you guys think? Okay, so next I want to start decorating the sides however you want. So anywhere that's kind of in this like circle around, we're going to decorate that, and then we can move up to the top. What I realized from yesterday is when I made this one, I started gluing things on the top, and then I had to turn it on its side to decorate the sides, and these kept falling off. So we're going to do the top last. That's my advice. Okay, so on the sides, I think I'm going to start with some of my fake grass. So again, if you don't have this, you can use maybe pebbles from outside, rocks from outside, maybe some real grass if you want to go pick some real grass or some flowers, anything like that. If your fake grass, if you have any, and it's like mine, it's kind of hard to like pull apart. So this is where I'm going to use my scissors. So make sure you have help if you're going to use scissors. And I'm going to just cut little pieces off. I'm going to kind of make them into like a ball shape, kind of like this. Yeah. And then I'm going to put some hot glue where I want it, or regular glue, whatever you're using. Okay, I put some hot glue down, and I'm going to stick the fake grass on. So it looks like that. And then I'm going to do this all the way around the bottom of the pot. So while we do that, maybe while you are decorating the bottom of your pot however you want, I'll play some more music and you can just get into creating and having fun with this play activity. And then we can talk a little bit more once we do that step, okay? Ready? We're just going to do the same step. If you're following along with me, that's fine. If you're not, keep doing whatever you're doing. I'm sure it's awesome. We're going to just keep doing this step until we finish the bottom, however you want the bottom to look. So just a reminder, we're cutting a piece, kind of balling it together, and then gluing it on. So here we go. think this will be my last piece, but you take your time. However you want your bottom part to look is awesome. Okay. So whenever you're finished up with that step, no problem, you can just join back in. So this is what mine looks like. So again, we have the door, the glitter door, and then we have the grass all the way around the bottom. So it looks a little crazy. It almost kind of looks like a little, here, let me move this camera. It looks like a little hat, kind of. That's funny. Okay, so what we're gonna do is continue decorating. So we just did the bottom, and we're gonna kind of move our way up to the top as we continue decorating. So I think that with any door, there should be some windows. So think about what some good materials would be to make windows on your fairy house. So I think some cool choices would be some pom-poms. That would be pretty cool. I might save my pom-poms to decorate the top though. Could you use maybe puffy paint to draw some windows? I think that could definitely work. So if you're interested in that, go ahead. You can use those gemstones that I had from before, which would look really cool as windows. I think I'm gonna use some puffy paint and maybe a little bit more glitter because I think fairies definitely like glitter. You know, they have fairy dust, so I think that's why. Okay, so we have our door here. I think I'll put 2 windows, one on either side of the door. So I'm just gonna do that by taking a blue puffy paint, and mine is a little bit liquidy, but I think it will still work. So I'm gonna just take the lid off. I think there's a little seal that I need to get off. Okay, took the seal off. And we're just gonna put this little top back on it so that you can squirt it onto your little fairy house. So I think I want mine windows to be circles. So I'm gonna put one right here. I'll show you. Okay, there's one. Looks like that. And I'm just gonna do a matching one on the opposite side. Okay, so we're just making windows on either side of the door or however you want them to look. Mine are just 2 circles. It would be cool to outline these in some glitter, so we might try that. So, uh-oh, mine is dripping. No problem. We just wipe it off. Okay, so that's what they look like. Pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna put some gold glitter on my windows this time. So I'm just pouring it right over the paint. I think gold and blue kind of go pretty cool together, so I think that will look nice. It almost looks like a face. Cool. Okay, so now I think it's time to just continue decorating however you want it. So whatever you think would make a fairy super excited is how we're gonna decorate it. I'll put on some music and maybe we can just keep going. I think what I'm gonna do is put on some of these smaller puff balls just around the sides before I start working on the top. I might even put some of these gems on there as well. So I think that's what I'll do, is use my gemstones and some of the smaller puff balls, and then we'll come back together and we can work on decorating the top together, okay? So I'll start our music again, and just remember, this is your fairy house, so however you want it to look is up to you. Just be creative and use whatever supplies you have. Okay, friends, so I am finishing up going around the edge with some rhinestones and some puffballs. I'm really liking the way it looks, so hopefully you guys are really happy with what you're making so far. As you finish up going around the outside, maybe you're adding more paint, some puffy paint. Maybe you're doing what I'm doing with the puffballs and some rhinestones. Maybe you're making a design with pipe cleaners or markers or something like that. Keep working on that. And while you're working on it, think about how you want to decorate the top. Do you want it to look like my example one right here where it has like a chimney and puffballs on it? How do you want it to look? So start thinking about that as you continue making the sides. And when I'm ready to start making the top, I'll come back and talk a little bit more. All right, everybody. So I'm about ready to start decorating the top of my fairy house. I want you guys to all take a minute and just look at what you've made so far and just tell yourself that you're doing a great job. Maybe pick out one thing that you love that you did so far. So, one thing that I love that I made so far on my fairy house is all of these puffballs. I love the way that they look going around all the sides of my fairy house. I love how they're so colorful. I mean, we have purple, orange, yellow, pink. There's a blue one. All kinds of colors. I love that that adds an extra pop of color to my fairy house. And I'm really happy with how it looks. So pick out something that you're really proud of yourself for so far, for doing so far, um, and let's continue to create. So on the top, I think I do want another little chimney like I did on this one. So I'm going to just grab a pipe cleaner. I think maybe a pink one would look cute. So I can show you guys, if you have a pipe cleaner and you want to follow along with me, I can show you how I made the chimney on my first one. So I just took my finger and I wrapped the pipe cleaner around my finger pretty lightly, not too hard. And I left the bottom straight like this. So then you just kind of gently, you can pull it off your finger. You can tighten up those curls if you want just by twisting. However you want it. You can even leave it straight. You could maybe twist two together. And then I basically just stuck it in. If your pot has a little hole like mine does, I don't know if you can tell right here, I stuck it in the top like that. And it didn't need any glue or anything. Now, if your pot doesn't have a hole, you might need some glue to get it to stay. I think it might look cute to have a few of those coming out of the top of the pot. So I'm going to make another one. So I think blue would look nice. So again, we just kind of gently wrap it around your finger. Hope you guys can see that okay. And leave the end straight. Gently pull it off your finger. Good, and I'm just tightening it up. And then you just stick it in the hole or glue it on top. Oh, I think that looks really cool. Let's do one more. I think three would look really nice coming out of the top of my fairy house. If I can fit it, we'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna do purple because we have an orange door and then we have pink and blue, and I think purple would look really good too. I definitely just messed up one of my windows a little bit, but that's okay. That's nothing that can't be fixed later, right? So I made the curly cues. I'm going to stretch this one out a bit. I want the purple to really stick out. Okay, and the bottom's nice and straight, and we just stick it in like that. How cute! So fun. It's so bright and colorful. I think any fairy would be crazy to not like this house, right? Okay, so what else do we want on the top? Do you want more gemstones? Do you want some puffy paint on your top? Do you want maybe some pom-poms? I think I want some pom-poms. So using the pom-poms and my glue one more time, I'm going to put some bigger ones around the top edge here. Make sure that you guys can see, just around the top edge here. Okay, so make it look however you want. I'm going to just pick, since I used my small ones before, my small pom-poms before, I'm going to use some really big ones. And I'm going to stick them on the top. And I think I'll just do a few. Oh, how fun is that? Cute. So let me pour out more of my pom-poms so I can see all the colors I have. I'm going to use an orange one. That kind of looks red on the camera, but it's orange. This is a hot pink one. I'm going to use these bright purple ones. There's two, so I'm going to use those. I have another yellowish one. I think I'll use those and see how it looks. Okay, so now I'm just working on the back. Let me turn it so you can see. I think I'll put my orange one there. Just a reminder that if you're using hot glue, it does get really warm. I know I can feel how warm my hot glue gun is. It is very warm. So I'm just putting a few small ones here and there. Okay, let's do another really big one. I think the pink one would look awesome right there. And guys, just so you know, this is kind of one of the last steps to decorating. So remember that you can keep going as long as you want. You can keep adding things to your fairy house, even after I sign off. If you want, an example would be if you want to go collect some things that you want to put inside your fairy house that you could kind of make like furniture for your fairies in, you can do that. So maybe your fairy would like to use one of your big pom-pom balls as a couch or like a beanbag chair. You can put that in there. Or maybe you want to put a snack in there for your fairies. That's totally fine. You can decorate the inside too if you want. You can do whatever you want. Okay, this is looking so fun. I'm going to add, because it's just too fun to stop, so I'm going to add a few more little ones to kind of layer them up there. I think it looks really cool when they're layered. Let me show you what I'm talking about. See how there's two big ones and then a small one on top? I'm going to do that in a few more spaces. And then I'll tell you guys what our last step is. And this is like the most important step. Where did my... Yeah. Needed some extra glue here to help it push out. So I'm going to add maybe another one, maybe two more puff balls, and then I'm going to tell you what our final step is before we sign off. So another one there. Okay. So let me show you guys my fairy house. So again, there is my glitter door that I made out of a pipe cleaner and some glue and glitter. Then we went around and we made this grass border because we're going to set these outside on the ground for the fairies to find. And so it will kind of look like the ground and it will look homey to them, right? This looks comfortable and nice and homey. So we added the grass at the bottom. Then I added these gold windows that are super fun out of puffy paint and gold glitter. Then we decorated all the way around with whatever materials you had. I used gemstones that are like almost like diamond looking, and then small puff balls. Finally, we moved on to the top and we made little chimneys out of pipe cleaners. So we just rolled those up and stuck them in. I had 3. I did a pink, a blue, and a purple. And then for our last step, we decorated the top with whatever else you wanted. So, sorry, I'm getting hot glue all over me. With some puff balls is what I chose to do. So now to make our last step of our fairy house. One thing we know, and I've said it before in this video, is we know that fairies like glitter, right? When they fly around, they leave behind pixie dust. So if you've ever seen Peter Pan, Tinkerbell flies around and she has pixie dust, right? So to make this fairy house feel like home for our fairies, we're gonna cover it in pixie dust. We're gonna make a little pixie dust shower for our fairy houses. So I have my clear glitter because that's what I like to use. It's kind of whitish, and I'm just gonna sprinkle it over the top. And it might stick, it might fall off, but it's more about it making it look like the final step, and it's ready for the fairies to move in. So now after we sign off today, that looks awesome. After we sign off today, you can just take this outside. If it needs to dry, you might want to let it dry. You take it outside and you can find a place in your yard, in a garden, anywhere around your house or wherever you live, and you can hide it there. And then you can check back in a few times to see if any fairies have moved in and made it home. So this is such a cool activity. We've created fairy houses together. I had so much fun building my fairy house with you guys. I hope you like this activity, and I hope that you love this theme this week of Storybook. I know it's been so much fun. So you guys keep playing, and thank you so much for creating with me. I had so much fun, and I can't wait to see pictures of what you guys create. So comment them down below, okay? Thanks so much, everybody. Until next time.